Morning. Good morning. Oh, rough night in the bar, right? So, newest innovation in clickers. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about what I was supposed to talk about because I thought that I would actually not pitch our product to you. I wanted to talk about something that could bring a little bit more value to your business. So I'm going to talk about something called control. This might be how control is looking for you guys, but it's kind of not the control of empowering you to jump out of bridges. Well, maybe after this session you might going to do that anyway, but I'm going to talk about control in the cloud industry and how you become relevant in this adapting world. So, first question from me to you guys. Are you in control of your own future? How many of you think you are, or know you are? None? Like zero? Zip? Okay, this is going to be a tough one. Okay, luckily, I can help you. Right? And that's basically what I'm going to spend my 30 minutes on. 29 now. Doing my session here, or the preparation for my session, I was thinking about why do we actually, 6,000 men go to a closed theme park in the middle of nowhere in Germany? Anyone? Okay. So, drink? Exactly. That was exactly my conclusion. And I always hear from people coming to World Hosting Days, hey, if you want to do business, you have to be in the bar. That's where the real business happens. So we sat down with our marketing agency and said, how do we kind of crack that nut? Because we don't have that much time to be in the bar, and we always get drunk, right? So we decided to move the bar to the event hall. So we have actually created our booth as a bar. So feel free to stop by, get a free drink, and do some business with us. So, who are we? Well, my name is Morten. I'm the founder of RushFiles, the CEO. We're a Danish company. We're pretty relaxed, as you can see. We tend to be a little bit rude, but we're also the premier file sharing service for service providers. To prove that, we have partners in more than 30 countries. Our service is available locally in more than 30 countries. I think that was even more than SoftLayer have data centers in. Some of our partners are really big. Some of them are really, really small. We're not that old. We're a newcomer in the industry. We've been here since 2012. But we're definitely planning to be here in the future. Question is, are you? Will you, in 2020, still be expensing the bar bill from World Hosting Days? I think in order to do that, one thing is really, really important, that you're in control of your own future and your own destiny. Because if you're not, maybe you're not relevant in 2020. So if you have 20 minutes, that's what I'm going to talk about, and maybe give you some tools to kind of take away and some ideas on how you can get in control, because none of you were, as I remember. If you think that's not relevant to you guys, feel free, go and have a beer with our colleagues. The bar is already open. So, serious stuff. What is going on in our industry? Well, I think one thing that we can agree on is that it's changing really, 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 really fast. And not just our industry, basically the whole world, right? As an example, in Denmark, mobile payment was introduced 3 years ago. So you go to a shop and you pay with your mobile phone. If you want to transfer money to a friend, you use your mobile phone. And actually, this year, they expect that the amount of mobile payment transactions will exceed the amount of physical transactions of money. 3 years. That's how fast things are moving at the moment. But that's not the only thing. The speed of things is changing. We see a complete set of different things that impact our future. 5 of them that I want to highlight here. Disruption of our industry, or disruption in general. Software as a service. Standardization of IT. The adoption phase that we're at has an impact on where we are and how our future looks like. And then the thing that everybody is talking about, hybrid. So a little bit into details on this. What is disruption? Anybody know that? Nobody knows that. Okay, that is when a newcomer in the market transforms the way a market looks like and basically push out the existing players in a market. So just to underline it, the usual suspects whenever we talk about disruption, Netflix. Look at how they have transformed the industry of the way we watch TV or entertainment industry. Jonathan was telling about they don't have a TV anymore, right? I don't even see my kids anymore. They were a video service, but today they also produce TV series, they produce movies, and they're becoming a solution provider for the whole chain of entertainment in the TV industry. Spotify. I don't know if any of you are following Kanye West on Twitter or something, but last week he announced that the CD is dead. In 2015, the revenue of streaming music exceeded the revenue of physical music. The CD sale dropped 31% in US last year. Spotify definitely changed the way we watch or we listen to music. Dropbox, another good example. They definitely changed the way that we're working with files and sharing data with other people. It has impacted companies throughout the world. And they, last week as well, announced 500 million users. That's a 500 million people using their service. They definitely have disrupted file sharing and the way that we think file server. So, are you disrupting the business that you're in? If you're not, well, you might not really be in control of your own future, right? Second trend, software as a service. What does that mean? Well, hardware and software is definitely changing the way we work. The capability for companies to have access to IT resources, to have access to software, etc. Marketing companies that once a startup marketing company, previously they had to go and buy a really expensive Adobe package. Now they can just rent it, right? Microsoft is changing the way we work today. It enables us to work on any device and at a price where it's like $10, right? And then you have the whole product suite. And on top of that, we are enabled to work wherever we want. So everybody's sitting with a laptop. 5 years ago, you had to go to the office to work. Now you can work wherever you want, on the beach, WHD, train. It doesn't really matter. So a lot of changes are happening in this software as a service, with software as a service. And the global players are coming, and they're definitely changing the way that the world looks like. But how does that impact with the way that you're doing your business? Third trend, standardization of IT. With all of these cloud services coming, another thing is happening. Most of these services are very, very generic. Most of these cloud services that you get are the same, right? It's one fits all. So you can buy Office 365 everywhere. You can buy it from Microsoft, you can buy it from thousands of tier 1 providers, and probably in a year you can buy it in 7-Eleven or something like that. And that's going to challenge our whole industry, right? Because where are you unique then? if you're just selling Microsoft, and Microsoft is selling Microsoft, and Office 7-Eleven is selling Microsoft, why should I even bother finding you? And if I find you, why would I even bother buying from you? Or why would I buy from you? So, I would basically state that if you're not unique, you're not really in control of your own business. Because then there's really no point of using you. So, adoption phase. Cloud is everywhere, and everybody is adapting to the cloud. Well, reality check. We're not really. We're still in a very, very early adoption phase. Most people don't really know about cloud. Most companies haven't looked at what cloud can do for them. Productivity, saving costs, stuff like that. Everybody here probably disagree with me because you're in the middle of the hurricane. You don't see the world as a plumber sees the world. So I have an example. My neighbor, his name is Torben. He has a plumbing company, 30 people, and he has no idea what cloud is. Like none whatsoever. If he has to do accounting, he will go to the office, bring home the tower PC he has, and do his accounting work at home. That's how cloud-enabled his plumbing company is. And most of the companies out there is in this category. So in order to move them to the cloud, somebody needs to educate them. Somebody needs to tell them how they can increase their productivity, how they can cut costs by moving to the cloud. And the question then is, who is going to tell them that? Is it Microsoft? Is it Dropbox or Box? Or is it you guys? Fifth trend, hybrid, which also impacts us a lot. I think we can agree that hybrid is really, really hot at the moment. Everybody is like, we need to have a hybrid solution. Jonathan was talking about hybrids as well. And I think that's just because that now all these cloud services finally realize that not everybody is just rushing to the cloud. So they have to come up with something in the middle. But hybrid thoughts and driving a hybrid business model can drive adoption to the cloud. It can move from on-premise to cloud. But it's really important to understand that the customers also have feelings, right? They also want to protect their data. They have to protect their data. But a lot of this comes down to feeling. And the general opinion, a lot of people think the cloud is not safe. Jonathan had a slide with a train and everybody was pushed into it, right? And I think that's the picture that a lot of people see when they look at cloud. And again, so if you have an approach towards your customers where you, instead of saying cloud, 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 you say, okay, we realize this. You have some things that you really care about, that you're really protective about. Keep them on premise. Put your Active Directory in Asia. That's fine. No harm done. All your data is still safe. So take it gradually. Then you will kind of, over time, move your customers to the cloud. Because guess what? They also want to be in control, right? They don't want to just, hey, here, take everything. Do whatever you want with it. So, based on these 5 things, how much in control are we actually of our own future as hosting company, as telco, as managed service provider? I think that's a valid question that we need to ask ourselves. I'll try to give you some of my thoughts on this in the next 15 or so minutes. So if you don't think it's relevant, well, our bar is still open. So, who are you going to be, and how do you become in control of your own future. Anybody want to know that? No one? One guy, 2, 3 guys. Okay, 4. Awesome. We see 2 options. Either you're a mass hoster or a telco, or you're a managed service provider, or you want to be a managed service provider. If you think that's rubbish, go to the bar, honestly, because most likely you won't be here in 2020. Example to prove my point. If you're a mass hoster, you were so lucky that you founded a hosting company in 1990s and have grown to have millions of users. Some of us, or some people here is. Alternatively, you're a telco, and that's fine. So you're doing business by selling affordable services that are easy to deploy, easy to self-service to your customer, and this is really good. Keep doing that. Then you're still going to be in business in 2020, at least in some state. Because you also need to rethink yourself in a certain way, because you need to think about where is your revenue stream going. Most hosters are under pressure. Their revenue is declining. Most telcos' revenue is declining as well. So if you don't want to change this, if you're still saying, hey, we want to do phone services, we want to do traditional hosting, and that's it, honestly, come visit us in the bar, right? So, a real life example, and trust me, we see this on a regular basis with telcos. So this is an example from a telco that sell mobile phone subscriptions. They're under pressure. The European Union has changed the data roaming rates. Their customers are churning. Small MVNO companies are coming up and stealing the customers and dumping the prices. So they're under pressure, right? So this telco sits down and thinks, we need to do something. We need to change this. We need to find a new revenue stream. And their awesome business development or product development team comes up with an idea. Hey, let's add the premium Spotify to our product. Give it away for free to our customers. Well, it works. You get happy customers. Kind of, when you've recognized that success, you repeat it. That's obvious. So the next thing you do is you add HBO or Netflix. And what do you get? Even more happy customers. So what is wrong here? Anybody know that? No money. Was somebody saying that? Exactly, no money. You're decreasing your margin on your business. You're adding a service for free that you're paying for. And on top of that, you're not really solving anything for your customers, right? You're giving them something that they otherwise would just go and buy somewhere. So the only problem you solve for them is you save them a little bit of money every month. That's hardly a way to survive. At least not in my opinion. So let's take another example how to do this in a different way. How many of you guys have a busy job? Like a really busy job? Come on, hands up. How many? Okay, most of you, right? Yeah. Going to the bar, doing business development at World Hosting Days. Exactly. While your wife is at home, taking care of the kids, raising them, taking pictures of your kids. And this is where the value comes into the idea, or to my proposal here. If you as a telco adds a service to your customers that actually adds them some value. So, for example, she's at home taking pictures of your kids, you're away on business trips over and over again. You actually want to participate in what is going on. So you take the pictures, they're automatically uploaded from the mobile phone to the cloud offering, cloud storage offering that you're offering your customers. And the husband, well, you guys, can actually in the morning check up on what is going on because the photos is also automatically downloaded to your mobile phone. See, this is adding real value to your customers. And you might offer this as a free service in the beginning, but when your customers get used to using the service, they might stop uploading pictures, they might go to actually upload videos that your users want to share with each other, back up Office documents or whatever they have, which they normally would have over a home NAS. So this way, you actually have a way of monetizing your offering, because you actually solve a real problem for these people, that they want to have their pictures of their kids and everything stored somewhere that they can rely on. They want to be capable of sharing them with their family and so on, and they're growing their storage consumption, and that's where you can charge money, right? So this is basically just one way that you could monetize, or you can get in control of your business and get in control of your revenue stream. But it's definitely not by giving something away for free. Managed service providers. Basically, this, well, not the same story, but I want to come up with an example for a managed service provider as well. Again, if you don't want to be a managed service provider, if you're like traditional hoster with 50,000 customers, you need to consolidate and become a mass hoster, or you need to go in the other direction and become a managed service provider. There isn't anything in between. You can't be halfway pregnant, right? So, if you don't want to do this transition, well, feel free to go to our bar. So in order for you to be in business in 2020, what will that basically take? Well, we believe that you need to become a trusted advisor. Not just somebody that pushes a box, but somebody that actually truly adds some value to your customers. And what does that really mean? Well, in our opinion, it means three things. You know your customers. You know who they are. You know who their customers are. You know how their business look like. And if you know this, you'll also know what problems they have. What challenge do they face in their business? Regulatory issues, productivity issues, whatever. And only when you know your customer and you know their problems, you can solve them. And this is where you can add value, because global players don't know your customers. We just said before, they deliver a standardized service, right? They don't know your customers. And that means basically that they can't solve your customers' problems. Why? That's why. Global players like Microsoft or whoever, sorry to pick on Microsoft, they can only solve generic problems. They're awesome at it, but it's a one-fits-all. They can't solve vertical specific problems. But a true service provider, true managed service provider, value-added partner can actually do that. So, what is a vertical specific problem? Or what is it that is not a generic problem, so to speak? Well, just a couple of examples. A lawyer and his clients needs to do secure communication. The lawyer needs to make sure that whenever he sends an email to his client, that the email is received and nobody has interfered in that. It could be a construction worker that is out on a construction site. He always needs to have the latest blueprints when he does his work, and it's kind of time-consuming to go back to the office, get a USB drive, and then it's already obsolete, right? And it could be a doctor that needs to share confidential information with its patients. You don't want your medical records on Google, I assume. So, if you want to be in control of your own future, you need to solve these type of problems. And you need to offer solutions for these type of problems. So, what does that mean? if you're a little bit uncertain what I mean with this, I'll give you an example. We have an accounting company. There are 25 people. They're highly successful. They are under regulatory restrictions in what they can do, where their data can be stored, and so on. And they have some different needs that they need to, as the service provider needs to help them with. So, problems that this company have that is vertically specific. Well, first of all, there are 25 people, so they don't have a dedicated IT staff. They need to have some kind of control of who they have in the company, Active Directory integration. They need to make sure that their data stays within European Union if they're a European company, or maybe even within Germany if they're a German company. They need to know who accesses their data. They need to have audit trail on it. There's ton of things that they need to have. They might also need to store every email that they actually send. They might need to store that for 5 years. So this is examples of vertical specific problems that this company have. And the question is then, who can actually solve that for the company? Who can actually help them with their problems? The local service provider that actually knows the company, that work with these type of companies? Well, these guys. Well, Office 365 is really a good product. Nobody questions that. But it doesn't solve all your customers' problems. It's an awesome anchor product, but you need to think away from products. You need to think of the solution that you can bring to your customer. So, just an example, Office 365, great for productivity. RushFiles, hey, secure file sharing or secure file storage. And Exact Online for accounting. This could be a productivity suite for your customers. If your accounting customer is a little bit more concerned about security, again, productivity, Office 365. RushFiles, secure file sharing with external people. Global Relay for secure email archiving for the next 5 to 10 years. And RMail, which encrypts and track mails and whether they have been opened and stuff like that. So this is another way of looking at a solution instead of looking at a product. And the result of that, well, first of all, you get happy customers. So did the telco that was offering Spotify, right? But you solve a real problem, meaning you increase your ARPU. You'll still be here in 2020 and drinking beers with us, and you become their trusted partners that they will go to. So, 2 minutes, recap, takeaways. If you want to be here in 2020 together with us, in this rapid changing world, if you want to be in control of your own future, you need to meet the customer's demand and solve the real problems. You need, again, offer solutions that you can monetize. So one thing is to offer something that solves the problem, but you also need to make money on it. And I tend to see a lot of companies forget that at the moment. So if you manage to do that, you'll definitely be in control of your own future. You'll definitely be here in 2020, and then you can let go and go to the bar with us. Thank you.